Hello everyone, Sriram Kumar here from ShriLearning. I have Deepthi in front of me. She's in Pacific time, a little late in the night, but she's ready to give an interview for us. First thing, congratulations Deepthi for this wonderful achievement.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sure.
For your support and guidance with this. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible.
Nice to know. Nice to know. I'll be happy to bring your certificate. Here it is. So I know this is a certificate which we all have a wish to achieve. At the same time, we know that we need to put a lot of time, effort, right? Because of that, it would have been dragged a little more extra time. We would have thought we want to do this month, and then we'll think, okay, another 2 more months later, 2 more months later. I have many people who dragged it, but some people make it sure that, okay, this is the date I have to do and focus for it. So PMP is one of the certificate which makes people to feel excited when you achieve it. Yes, Deepthi. So give a little background about you and we'll talk about your dream of certification.
Yeah. So just to give a background of what I do, I work for a pharmaceutical company and I manage the data operations for a worldwide clinical trial. And I've been working with this company for almost 1.5 years now. And it's pretty exciting work. And my domain is healthcare and pharmaceutical.
Which is a hot demanded now in the market. Nice. Good.
Interesting work. It's always interesting to have clinical trials and see the products, therapies going into market.
Mm-hmm. Nice, nice. It's a very, what to say that, directly reaching the human. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Human factor. So how come this managerial thought process and leadership thought process came on getting into the PMP certification?
So I have taken on management position, I think since 2018. Since then, I have had a management position going on. So I always had lead role and did project management as part of my job. And since management came in, it became like I had an additional role of people management. And that became like it was a new learning experience. You had to have that extra EQ added with your IQ.
That's true, right? It's always sometimes interesting and challenging handling people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Sometimes we get a feel that rather asking them, why don't I myself do it? That's a feel we'll get. But still you have to control that and make sure they do that work and they learn out of it. Okay, that people's skill is always interesting. Nice. Good to know. Good to know. So now, did you plan it for August already? Telling that August 2021 I'll be PMP. Did you plan it?
It's a long story. I didn't, like I had hit the last level before I took that PMP. I had started thinking about it last year. And the thought was like, okay, I want to do PMP and I want to learn the formal way of doing a project. Because every place that we work, we have our own way of managing projects. So I wanted to know the methodical, like the actual process, how it's by book or exactly how this can be done in the best possible way. So that was the decide to, like, that was something that motivated me to do PMP. And when I started last year, I was like, okay, first I'm going to go through the application process just to make sure that I'm eligible to do this. So I went through the application process. I took the 35 PDUs and I was eligible, and I got the eligibility last August. And I started studying, I started preparing. I finished RETA 1 round and went through some mock exams, whatever we could find online, all the free resources that we have. I did all that and came to the realization that this was pure project management. And like the amount of time and effort that I have to put into this is a lot. And actually, only a part of my job was project management and the rest was people management. And there's other part of operations. So it was like, okay, am I doing this? Is this going to benefit me in the way that I think it's going to? So in that thought process, and also it was a new job that I had. So I was like, I don't know whether I'll be able to manage it all. And is it worth at that point? So things like the work got really busy, and I could not give enough time to prepare this. And I was like, okay. And the idea was like, before 2020, the syllabus changes, I have to finish this.
Right.
And once it started slipping away, I was like, okay, probably not this year. Let me see next year. I still have that 1 year of eligibility.
Right.
And come January, I started going online and started looking at YouTube videos of what does PMP 2021 look like. I downloaded the syllabus, and there was that people piece to it. And I was like, okay, this is something that I want to do. And I went through the Agile practice. I bought the Agile practice guide. I went through that. And in my previous work, I had we had started adopting Agile methodology. And when I started going through the Agile practice guide, I was like, okay, this is useful. And then the people piece of project management also, it's like, okay, this is almost 50% of PMP, and it's going to give me a real good base with people management, and then there's project. So it fit my job really well.
Right.
And then was like, okay, now how do I find time to do this? And I didn't know how tough the exam was. Was it the same as what we had before in 2020, or is it going to be something new? So I started looking at all the videos and seeing what people think about the new. And that's when I came across your video of people sharing their experiences. And I was like, okay, this sounds doable. I should work on it. And I started watching those videos for a month. I was trying to figure out what other book do I need, because I had gone through Rita and I had done some practice. I had some base built, and I had gone through the Agile practice guide, but I knew that was not enough. I really had to put in way more effort than that. So once I started watching all your videos, and I started looking at your training videos, and I was like, okay, I need to go with somebody who's teaching live, who I can like ask questions and know more and be able to sit in a class that will motivate me to get this done on time. Self-study, you have to be really, really disciplined.
Yeah.
And I was not able to find enough time from work to give or put that effort for PMP. So that's why I contacted Rahul, and I joined the April batch. That was, I started April, and I've got a good grip on the subject. I started reading the book along with your classes. And come June, April, May, June, work really went up. And I was like, whatever I've built might not be like I won't be able to retain it if I don't get it done right away.
Right.
So then I think June end, I decided I'm getting it done. August is my date. August mid, I'm finishing it.
Okay.
So then I started putting with a date in my mind, I just started working towards it.
Nice. Good to know that. That's quite interesting. See, I'm interested that you read the book already once, and again, there was a gap, but again, you were able to pick it up again. Sometimes people, they leave it once, that's it. Then they don't, okay, it's not my cup of tea or cup of coffee, whatever it is, they say, they go out of it. But again, good you picked up. And rightly you say that people portion. I think PMI has identified it and increased good amount of people portion, where you go nearly 42% of the exam, where you talk a lot about people, team formation, and leadership style. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Nice to know. Good to know that. Good to know that you made it, you got the grip. Also, I know sometimes when you are in the group, like a WhatsApp group or a preparation group, you run along with the group. You no need to individually sit and work out. Someone clear the exam, you get motivated or at least pushed by some results, right? I keep telling people it's something like a Mumbai train. If you observe, there is a Mumbai platform. If people know that Mumbai railway stations will be always busy. So you just go and stand in the railway station, the crowd will take you inside the train, and sometimes they will drop you in the station. So it's something like that. It works very good. Superb. So Rita is a primary book you spent time, and you did Agile practice guide. You did some practice questions also. When you do the practice questions, did you found that you are able to connect the situations Was it something which you work kind of situation, or was it totally different situation? How do you answer the questions?
So that was a learning experience for me. Like initially I would answer it based on what I felt would be right.
Uh-huh.
But then I was like, I had to stick to the agile mindset. And then my score started going better. You come with a bag. I remember you telling in one of the classes, like you come with that baggage. It's hard to get out of it and start answering the way that PMP wants you to do, or like PMI wants you to do. So that was like I had to tune myself to do that. But
Yeah.
it was like it's a good thing I did because I learned a lot.
Great, great. I know it's not easy. Most of the classes I keep telling that definitely will come with a baggage, because everyone has a 10 years, 15 years of experience. Suddenly you cannot drop the baggage, right? It is there in your shoulder for 15 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and we will have some assumptions. This is what right. And the book will say no. that's it'll be a conflict. It will be fighting back. How come this guy says wrong? Huh? I'm 20 years experience. I know this. So, kind of tough thing, tough thing. Good, good. And how was it exam? You planned online or you went for center based?
I went online. I went online. Center
Okay.
based, it was very hard to find a
Uh-huh.
date and a time for what I really wanted. So that's why I decided to go online. But I
Which,
was really, really worried about it.
right. Which city you are now in US?
Seattle, Washington.
Seattle. So you didn't open it? I mean, centers are not open.
Yeah, they have, but you don't have as many as you would like
Oh,
to have. Yeah,
oh,
there are very few centers, and
okay.
it's in high demand, and we don't get slots the way we want it.
Yeah, yeah. See, if you have good internet and power facility, I think home is better. Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. But again, when you do in home, little complexity is there in the sense of you cannot move here and there. You should be very restricted towards the camera. Loss factors are there. So how is it
I
on the
think I
exam?
was more worried about the internet going off suddenly. It doesn't happen. Like power doesn't go, internet doesn't go, but still you're like, because I had seen some videos where they had mentioned that the last minute the internet went off, it didn't relaunch. And I was like, oh my God, what if that happens? And it was a possibility.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Last month, a person from US, he took exam and internet went off. He said, "Man, never goes, but it went." What to do?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was like, what backup do I have? I don't have a backup. Like, it's like you say, yes, you have it, that's it. And I did check with you, can I use my cell phone's hotspot? And you're like, no, that's going to be really bad for you.
Yeah, yeah. At hotspot, I don't know why PMI still disqualify it. They don't know until you open the mouth and tell it's hotspot. But by honesty, we'll tell it, and they'll tell, "Sorry, guys, you'll close the exam."
That
Right.
was my backup. And I was like, okay, now I don't have a backup.
At least in India, what they do is people use is a dongle system. If you're aware of it, they have Reliance dongle, Airtel dongle. They get from some of their friends, it's a box available where they can utilize it. I don't know in US how much dongle is actively used.
I
So
haven't used it here. I do use it when I
very less
come
there,
to India.
very less.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people believe on Wi-Fi more. So that's a way. Nice, good to know. So how do you plan your exam? Did you have any time management in your mind before you go to exam?
I, I, I had taken the advice to, in my mind, it was like, okay, Sriram had said 90, 70, 70. But I was targeting for 60 in the first one. I was like, let me target that.
Uh-huh.
And then I will have enough time to spread it across.
Very good, very
But
good.
the first section was really, because with my practice exams, I was finishing my exam in, I think, 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, I felt like, okay, I can target for 60 and then let's see. My range would be 60 to 90 and I can take it from there. But my
Okay.
first section was really difficult, like compared to the other two. And
Oh,
I took around 78 minutes. Yeah.
wow. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And
Okay.
that too, I think I had marked at least 4 or 5 questions for review. And I managed to do that and it was 78 minutes. And I took the break, I came out and I was like, okay, now I need to do the math. I have 2 more sections. How should I split my time? What would be the limit that I need to give for my next section? And I think I gave like a next one, maximum 75 minutes, not more than that. If possible, again, 60, target for 60. Stretch would be 75. And
Ah.
that was, I think that went better. I finished it in 70 minutes.
Decent. Okay.
And the last one, again, I think the last section, I was like, okay, I have some more time. And I did a review and everything, and I was done 10 minutes before the end.
Okay.
But I didn't submit till the end. I kept checking.
You want to use
time was up, like,
you want to use the full time.
I need to use the full time.
Nice. Good to
But
know.
I did end up changing a couple of my answers though.
Yeah.
So,
Usually the first part, what happens is the anxiety is very high and the nervousness is high. Even though it's a right answer, you choose in the right way, still you'll read it 2 times.
Yeah.
The first arrangement, you will take long time, first 20 questions. That is why we give that 90 minutes in the first slot. Second slot, you get little used. You know what to do that. Third slot, it become like it's a highway where you've driven the car for last 1 year. You know where the U-turn will come, you know where the signal will come, automatically you drive it, right? So third slot, you come to the acceleration level. But still, there are many people suffering. In the third slot, they rush. Okay, this happened because they lose the time in the first slot. That's how it is. But anyhow, you did a good job. I know your practice exam, you scored 3 hours means it's a really good speed. Really good speed.
Yes, I was somehow, but for study hall, I could not do 3 hours. It took more than that. I think I was doing like 3.5 hours, a little over 3.5 hours for study hall.
I think the language is slightly difficult there.
Yeah, and it's like a paragraph question, not like 2 sentences or 3 sentences. So by the time you figure out what the question is asking, it consumes more time.
How is it in the real exam? Was it a paragraph or some questions are smaller, some are bigger? How do you felt?
I think in general, it was like 2 to 3 liners. It wasn't very big.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did have matched the following, which were 2 liners on both sides.
Okay. I think recent days, the match of following, they reduced a little bit. Hardly 3, 4 should have come for you.
I got 3.
No, they reduced it. Sometime in between, in the month of March, April, May, people are getting 11 or 12 match of followings. And that too, all big one. Many people, some people ignore that question. They ignore and go to the next question. Because one question will consume, it will consume 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, match of following, the problem is you drag and drop it, it will hide that answer.
Yeah.
So you will not know, did I put in the right box? Again, you have to drag it out and see is it the right answer.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, one of them, I dragged it out to see what did I just put it into.
Also, you don't have a paper to write down. At least have a paper where you can write, okay, this is what I dropped in. That also not there. So, match of
all in your mind.
Yeah, it's a mind game. Great. Any math formula that troubled you?
I had 2 of those SPI, CPI questions, but it's basic idea. If you have basic understanding of what those are, you can answer it. Like I didn't have to use a formula directly as such. It's a concept of SPA and CPI.
Right. Good. I think exam went smooth. And the last few seconds when you want to click the submit button, or it went automatically, right?
No, I
clicked it.
And I was like, I don't want to see the result. And I was about to get up, and then I realized the Proctor is right there.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to see the result.
I don't know what's coming my way.
Okay. Then the result came up. Did you read that paragraph?
Yeah, I did. I was like, first thing I was looking for was, is it congratulations or good luck with your next one? So as soon as I saw congratulations, then I'm like, okay, whatever. Rest is like, I've read it, but it never registered in my mind. Only the first word. That's it.
Yeah. Off late, nobody reads. They read only the first word. Congratulations, over, close it.
And it came in a blink of
2 seconds.
within a second it was there.
Yeah, it's something like seeing the god. It will come and go.
Yeah, it was pretty fast. And then they asked those survey questions. I'm like, I'm done. Why am I answering so?
See, now at least after result, they're showing survey, right?
Yeah.
Is it after result survey? Okay.
I think after result survey. Yeah.
When I went to exam center base, I'm talking some years back, first you have to give survey, then only result. You will be done with all 200 questions. Those days are 200 questions, 4 hours continuous without break. You'll be exhausted. When you click the button, they'll tell, can you please give a survey? I said, man, where is my result? First give the survey, then we'll give the result.
Oh,
So you have to click one by one. They'll ask you how the exam is. Is it comfortable? Show me the result.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Like if you haven't passed the exam, you don't want to give another survey. It's like, at least when you say congratulations, you might be like, okay, let me give a survey because I feel happy.
That's nice. That's nice. Good to know. Good to know. So what is your advice for the people preparing?
I think have your base really good. Like I did Rita last year, but I did go through Rita again this year. And I did go through some part of PMBOK. This year I tried to go through some part of PMBOK, but I think Rita is good enough. You should not do more than that. Rita is good enough. Go through it thoroughly. And I used the latest version of Rita this year.
Yeah.
And Agile practice guide. Agile practice guide I read at least twice or thrice.
I think it's a very decent book.
It's a small book.
It's a fair information about Agile. I think it's a very decent book to read. Did you read the last portion, Anakshar, with those things? Great.
Yeah. No, because the number of questions, I think predictive and Agile together, I had almost 70 to 75% of my questions.
Wow.
So Agile is important. We have to be good with it.
Right.
Like after one section, I was like, did I even see a predictive model question? It was all Agile.
Yeah. More of Agile nowadays. That's how it. So your advice is read Rita, Agile Practice Guide, make your base very solid.
Yeah, because the questions, they're not straightforward. It's not like, it's not from the book. It's more of situational questions. And only if you have the base and you think through, then it's easier. And it's not straightforward. Having a practice with study hall questions will help you with that kind of tackling that kind of questions.
Right.
I feel like study hall practice exams help me to just stay with the question and understand the question and answer it.
Right. So one question to you, Deepthi. I see many people are struggling a little hard to read the question faster. They read it, they don't get the answer, meaning of it. Second time they read, again they don't get. Third time, so they consume a lot of time. I know you prepared well. When you do a practice exam pretty faster. In the main exam also, you had some extra time. So what is your thought? How to read a question a little faster?
I think like it's practice. I took so many exams. Like I was attending, like I would take the questions that Rahul posted every day. I would keep a timer for myself and I would try to do the questions in that time. Then I would take your 40 question, like what ShriLearning has, the 40 questions. I would time myself less than what you would assign for those exams so that I'm pushing myself to do it faster.
That makes sense.
And I took, in ShriLearning itself, there was chapter questions. I think, was it 10 question or 15 question, the chapter questions?
Yes.
So I took those also on a timed basis. And I took 5 of the practice exams, 3 from ShriLearning and 2 from study hall.
Very good.
So you have I think practicing the exams.
You have a habit of timer all the time. Even if a 10 questions Rahul posting in a WhatsApp, use time to make yourself stick to that. I think that's a good tip can be given.
You have to make sure like you keep reading questions and then you know that what you're looking for, like how you would go through in your classes, you would go through the questions and say, okay, what is the primary point here? And what is the question being asked? Just getting a focus on that main point It helps when you practice a lot.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Super. That's a valuable tip. I think many viewers going to utilize it. Viewers, I believe you got this important one. Using timer, understanding the concept is very important, because I know many of you suffering. Many come to me telling me, I'm doing it, but I couldn't complete last 20 questions. 10 questions I missed out. They do 4 hours, but last 20 questions they rush or they leave it in the practice exam. So that fear is.
Another thing was, I didn't feel this exam to be easy at all. It was a difficult exam. And what happens is, sitting for 4 hours is not easy.
Yeah.
More than the questions, I think questions we can still handle. The exam becomes more difficult when you have to sit there for 4 hours. And your mind has to focus on the exam for 4 hours.
It's not
That's
easy.
a challenge. It's been years you have sat for such an exam. So practicing like 4-hour exams, the way that you do this exam is really good. It helps.
That's the reason we make to sit in the class for 4 hours, weekends. So you give that practice of sit in the place for 4 hours. Nice.
Those practice exams are really helpful.
Nice to know. Nice to know. So tell something about Seattle. What is special? Which restaurant is favorite for you there?
You asked the wrong person.
Oh, you don't go out? You don't hang out?
It's been a while. It's been 1.5 years of restaurant.
Stuck at home. So how long you're in Seattle? How many years?
9 years. Little over 9 years now. So Seattle is a super beautiful place. It's an evergreen, like Washington, an evergreen state. It's always green. The thing is that summer is super beautiful, but winter, starting next month onwards, it starts raining. And it rains for 6 months to 8 months, or no, 6 months to 7 months.
You can't go out much.
We learn to live with this kind of weather. So we get used to it and we do every normal activity, but you hardly see the sun.
Understand. I know Seattle is a woods and green, right? That's a beautiful thing. All tall trees, pine trees, and it makes beautiful view. Okay, great. Happy to know that. And great. Thanks a lot, Deepthi, for coming up here. And I know it's a little late in the night.
My pleasure. If this could help anybody who's going through this phase of preparing for PMP, that will be great.
Seriously, it will help a lot, because every time when you post a success story, there are 100+ viewers who view it and get some information out of it. Of course, 100% will not go inside. One tips what you give, like 10 questions, utilize a timer to do that. Someone will pick it from there. So one day they'll come and tell, somebody gave a success story there, I got it. Sorry, I don't remember her name. Okay, this happens. They don't remember the name, but they know the concept, what is said. So it's like a chain, it's happening. I'm seeing this for a lot of time. Chain, it is going on, people helping one another. That's important. Perfect. Great. And once again, thanks to you for coming up here. And thanks to all the viewers for watching. Yeah.
No, thank you for all the guidance. I know I remember calling you and I'm like, am I ready to take this exam? And you were like, okay, how much score do you have in each of these practices? And then you were like, okay, I think you can do it, but do 2 more study hall exams and then we can be more confident. So all the guidance, all the tips that you've given in our classes, I think it has been so helpful.
Nice.
I would not have kept myself motivated enough to get through this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the trust. And as you rightly said, we need this crowd and push to run along with them, like a marathon. We have to run with the people, then only you can go forward. Great. So keep rocking.
They all help each other a lot.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing we framed here. And we're happy that you are from a good happening industry, and keep applying all this leadership and managerial thought process. Definitely there is a good future in this area. And thanks for being here, and keep rocking more. We'll be happy to see you growing higher in your life.
Yeah, I might show up in your ACP class also.
Sure. Nice.
Because now I have time and I've shifted my gear to in a learning mode. Probably next thing coming.
Sure, sure. Please welcome. Please. See, one thing I observed with many people, once they clear PMP, they'll be so eager. What next? Give me something. I remember day before one person messaged me, Shriram, I'm feeling more demotivated. Last 1 week, I didn't do anything. So give me something. Then I said, we have PMI-ACP classes. Would you be interested? Give me any class. I'll come and sit. I want to learn something. Then, man, what about you guys? he feels that morning and I wake up, I'm not opening the book. I feel I lost something from me. Okay, go ahead and do it.
I also think that once you've done PMP in the new model, ACP should be comparatively easier.
Right. I'm recommending people, since already half Agile is learned, with the ACP, you get a little more knowledge, and Agile is trending in the market. When you have that in your pocket, definitely is going to help, right? That's a message. Super. We'll soon see you in the different programs, and thanks a lot for coming here. Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you.